let's talk about a continuous improvement specialist. What do they do? Here's Tim. He's a continuous improvement specialist. Tim is like the behind-the-scenes strategist who helps organizations work smarter, not harder. But what does that really mean? At its core, a continuous improvement specialist is all about making processes better. That could mean simplifying things to make them faster and more efficient, improving the customer experience, ensuring compliance with regulations, or helping the business operate more cost-effectively. So, in summary, as a CI specialist, Tim's role is to work closely with business partners, developers, and other key stakeholders to transform business processes, helping the organization run as efficiently and effectively as possible. Let's go through an example and see what Tim does from the beginning to the end of a project. Okay, let's say Tim works at a financial institution. His manager, Joe, asks him to evaluate the processes related to complaints handling. The first thing Tim has to do is kick off the discovery phase. During the discovery phase, Tim starts by identifying who his business stakeholders are. Then, he engages with them to observe and document how the current processes work. He asks questions like, where are we losing time? Why are we losing time? How can we ensure fewer errors? The key objective of this phase is to really understand the current state of play, how things are currently being done, what the pain points are, and what business challenges exist. By the end of the discovery phase, Tim typically delivers a set of key artifacts, such as a SIPOC, which is a high-level process map that provides a quick overview without going into too much detail. A current state process map. This is a detailed visual of the as-is process showing the main steps. A root cause analysis document that outlines what's causing the issues. To do this, Tim might use tools like a fishbone diagram or the 5 whys technique. A data analysis report that presents key metrics like processing times, defect rates, and more. A solution options document which summarizes the different ways the business pain points could be addressed, maybe through automation, standardization, or process redesign. A benefits analysis document to highlight potential business savings or efficiency gains. And finally, a one-pager business case that ties everything together. The purpose of the one-pager is to give the leadership team a quick snapshot, showing the business problem, project scope, potential solutions, estimated timeline, and the costs and benefits of moving forward. Once approval from leadership is obtained, the next step is deciding which framework to use to deliver the project. Typically, the choice is between PDCA and DMAIC, as both provide a structured approach for delivering process improvement projects. Let's take a look at both, as these are the key methodologies used in process improvement. Let's start with PDCA, which stands for Plan, Do, Check, and Act. PDCA is usually preferred for simpler problems that require quick fixes or small process tweaks, especially when the root cause of the issue is already known. Unlike other frameworks, PDCA doesn't have distinct phases, like solution design, implementation, or piloting. The whole idea is to consolidate everything into an iterative cycle that can be repeated as needed. Let's say Tim is working on a business problem where too much time is being spent manually sorting and triaging complaints before they're assigned to the right team. To tackle this, Tim decides to use the PDCA framework. First, we have the plan stage. Tim starts by understanding the problem, identifying the pain points, and coming up with a strategy to fix them. Next is the do stage. This is where Tim puts his plan into action and begins making the changes. Then comes the check stage. Tim reviews the results to see if those changes are actually making a difference. And finally, there's the act stage. Here, Tim makes any further tweaks or improvements based on what he's learned so far. This PDCA cycle can be repeated as many times as needed. For example, if there are multiple problems to solve, Tim can just go through the cycle again, fixing one issue at a time until everything runs smoothly. So, once all the iterations have been completed successfully, Tim then conducts a pre- and post-implementation analysis to measure the impact. He looks at both the quantitative and qualitative outcomes, things like time saved, error rates reduced, improved customer satisfaction, or better compliance. Once the results are clear and the benefits are confirmed, Tim wraps everything up and officially closes the project. Okay, so now let's say Tim doesn't prefer PDCA. Instead, he chooses to use DMAIC. So, what does this involve? DMAIC stands for Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control. This approach is usually preferred when the problem is more complex and the root cause isn't immediately clear. Unlike PDCA, DMAIC follows a more structured, step-by-step process. Let's walk through it. First is the define phase. Tim starts by clearly defining the problem, setting the project goals, and outlining the scope. He works closely with the stakeholders to understand what success looks like and who needs to be involved. Next is the measure phase. Tim gathers data on how the current process is performing. He looks at key metrics like turnaround time, error rates, and the volume of complaints, anything that helps build a solid baseline. The next phase is analyze. Now, it's time to dig into the data. Tim uses tools like Pareto charts, cause and effect diagrams, or even statistical methods to uncover the real root causes behind the problems. After that is the improve phase. Once the root causes are clear, Tim starts working on solutions. He teams up with stakeholders and developers to brainstorm ideas, run pilots, and roll out improvements that directly address the issues. And finally, the control phase. In the control phase, Tim puts measures in place to make sure the improvements are sustainable. This might include updating process documentation, providing training, or setting up dashboards and alerts to monitor performance. Once all the changes have been successfully implemented, Tim runs a pre- and post-implementation analysis to measure the impact. He looks at the quantitative results, like faster processing times or fewer complaints, and also considers the qualitative improvements, like smoother operations or better team satisfaction. When everything's looking good, the process is stable, and stakeholders are happy, Tim closes out the project, captures the lessons learned, and celebrates another successful outcome. Okay, so what else does Tim do? As a continuous improvement specialist, Tim also plays a key role in promoting a culture of continuous improvement across the organization. For example, he takes every opportunity to inspire employees to look for ways to improve their day-to-day tasks, and he supports them however he can. Whether it's through coaching, running workshops, or just having one-on-one conversations, Tim helps people feel empowered to make things better. In summary, a continuous improvement specialist like Tim is essential for helping companies stay competitive, efficient, and always moving forward. Okay, that's it. Continuous improvement specialist in a nutshell. Hope this was useful to you.